timer on the phone. Write down the stuff we chat about.
Regarding that mic.
Okay.
Aye.
Hey,
All the above.
and then make a tea, clean the flat, rearrange everything once we're finished. Can you come home with me and clean my room? And then
Never.
And tuck us on.
Then you can just walk back across then.
Tuck us on as well.
Alright, tuck me and read me a bedtime story.
I think that's a bit much to ask.
Tuck me and Dualta.
Tuck us on, hey.
Just
That's not much to ask.
after the podcast, when we pass out here, just throw a blanket over us.
Okay.
Read a sweet story.
What is
Because somebody
together
else
beside
uses
each other on the sofa?
Aye, whenever we're sleeping here, just like...
Sleeping beside each other?
Separately.
Separately, but beside each other,
Yeah,
nonetheless.
but at the edges.
You get it.
Okay.
I guess.
You get it.
I get it.
Emily gets it.
Oh, I get it.
Hey, no qualms. I would sleep beside Dualta many a night. I have, I think.
Yep.
Probably.
You
Maybe.
don't know.
Have I?
You don't know, but I know.
Have I, Dualta?
You have.
Have you crept in beside me?
Nah, it's not creeping when you're invited.
Nah.
So I've heard from you.
I didn't
When you've
invite
been
you. I've
inviting
never
me.
invited you.
Definitely have. On multiple occasions. But other times I've invited myself.
Crept into your tent one night, but I didn't sleep in your compartment.
You slept in my hallway. You slept in the fucking hall like a peasant. You slept with a help. You slept in the guest house. You did not sleep on in the main house.
No, you the master bedroom in that tent.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. Donald
was
didn't
a-
smell good. Wherever he was. I can guarantee it didn't smell good.
I think he was in the one across, and it definitely didn't smell good. I heard some tooting coming out of that compartment. Some
Rootin' and tootin'.
he we stayed in a house one night, and I think I slept on the sofa, and he slept upstairs, and I heard him get up in the morning, right? And I heard him open the door to the bedroom he was in, walk out, and he farted continuously from the bedroom all across the hallway, down the fucking stairs, and into the kitchen. It was like just the whole way.
Incessant.
The whole way. And I was
think
like,
it's impressive.
oh my God, is that real? I thought I was dreaming.
I would have expected to hear applause after that from everybody from all different rooms. Way! Like starting a slow clap.
No,
Like, hey.
I just shouted, holy fuck!
Props, bro.
I couldn't believe he did it.
I think it's impressive. I truly do. They hold it that long. Man's got stamina.
Some
got one.
Strong cheeks. A
They'd need to be.
taut balloon that.
Man, this is another person's asshole you're talking about now, you know. You aware of that?
No, I doubt that, man. That thing sounded like it was like a like you got the cave dived in there. I think I was just because it was so effortless how he did it as well. He just walked into the room and it was like, I just like started and then didn't stop. It was like there was no like he didn't have to like go like there was no pushing to it.
No struggle.
No struggle at
Just
all.
nature.
Just walking around, dusting the place with your scent.
A perfect blend of destiny and nature.
Just completely dousing that place with his own form of Agent Orange.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff to be doing on the weekend.
So horrible, and his inside smell like death as well.
Dirty.
You
Does smell like he's been eating just
you-
raw carcasses off the side of the road somewhere and just dropping off.
I don't think
every now and then.
you can talk either.
Hey, I can
You
can talk.
You can light up a fucking room is what you can do.
Man, I can
You
kill.
never seem to do it at my house though.
I kill rooms. Nah, I do it all the time. Kill rooms, hey.
So you're admitting it.
Sometimes I'm in a room and I farted like 5 months ago and someone comes into the room and I'm like, oh shit, they're still going to be able to smell it.
Oh, they
And they're going to know it was me because I'm the only person here.
Yours hang, and they're distinct.
I'm just standing in
I
this
can tell.
cloud. Oh, they're bad. Hey, they're not good. Never said they were.
It's like,
Not denying.
It's worse. The worst one. So you like do it. You're like sitting there and you're like sitting, and there's nobody else in the room, and it makes you. It takes yourself aback. You're like, oh my God.
It shocks you.
I'm a disgusting human being.
You're appalled at your own actions.
All right, what am I doing? What is going on with me?
You
Makes you reevaluate your life.
And that split second. It's like that split second, you know, just where you just go back on everything that's ever happened, and just on that fart. Remember all those
memories,
all those childhood memories, all those boulders you played with, all those armies you were on.
Be full circle moment there.
All those memories just come rushing back. And you're like, was it worth it? It was.
Aye.
You finish your fart and it was so worth it.
And you're back in reality.
Back in the room.
You can't smell it anymore.
No,
It's
you
over.
Definitely can.
like
Definitely
a
can smell.
DMT trip.
It's a 10 businessman trip. Farting. Cheesing. If you will.
Cool, man. So, what's been going on with you this week, Dualta?
Oh, with me this week, eating lots of food, just usual kind of stuff there. Watching Parks and Recreation.
As we can see.
We've turned around. That was nice. Want to edit that?
Not rehearsed.
On
Not rehearsed.
our own. What else? Watched the first part of Leaving Neverland.
Oh, God.
That's about it, I think. Not much else apart from
A
that.
lot of intake.
Yeah.
Not a lot of outtake.
Yeah, that's why I'm here now doing this.
Good. We'll put some,
To try and-
effort
To try
into
and
this.
justify my actions throughout the week, I have to put something out.
Staying inside like a bridge troll.
Instead of doing loads of good wee things, I just do one big hour and a half chat, and that's my part done.
Just take a vow of silence for the rest of the week.
Yeah,
You and Emily just sit in this room, just silent.
I believe
Watching
silence is
Swanson.
on that pyramid of greatness somewhere. I'd nearly bet
Somewhere under woodworking, I bet.
you've got stillness.
Chicken protein.
Oh my god, I don't
Right
think
beside-
silence is on it,
Romantic love.
and it's something he talks about so much. Is silence.
I could
Let
live
me
by
down.
that. I feel like that's something to live by.
Ah, definitely.
If nobody knows it, they should look it up and research it themselves.
Yep.
I've been talking about joining the Mormon church recently, but I think I should maybe
Maybe you should join
the
that.
Church of Ron.
Swanson Pyramid of Greatness if you're interested in a good
Yes.
read and some
It's scientific in ways.
sound life advice.
Scientific in ways.
It is. I feel like it's a formula for us to just base everything off, and that would be fine, and everything would be good.
Has the reason you haven't been going outside been the Storm Gareth?
Nah, not really. I fucked him today, so I did.
Aye.
Fucked him up this
Just
morning.
got right into it.
Jeans soaked. Hey.
Oh, nice.
Sitting in my wet jeans all day.
Weird name for a storm.
Gareth.
Aye.
They're running out. There's been way too many storms recently, and
It's
they're
like usually-
grasping now.
Usually they have like an almost like an eloquent name. And then somewhere in the early 2000s, they started giving them the name of like angry women.
Aye.
Barbara.
Or
Storm
very,
Barbara.
very average men.
Yes, can just fucking Storm
Sorry,
Dave.
sorry, any Gareths out there, but hey, it's true. I say that with pride, knowing there's only one Gareth listening
we
to
know
this.
there's only one Gareth, and he's a very unaverage Gareth, so it's okay.
Yeah, he's subpar.
He's subpar
He's
Gareth.
not average, he's subpar.
Subpar Gareth.
Subpar Kirk. But hopefully we'll have him on
That's
for a
an inside
podcast
joke that
soon.
only 3 people will get.
We'll try and trick him into taking some photos of us, and then trick him into a podcast at the same time.
Because we will have to trick him into it.
They both. He already said yes to the photos, but we'll have to definitely trick him into the.
Don't tell him about the podcast. I feel we should get him here, get him to take the photos, and then he's going to go, then you get back to the lanes now, and then we lock a door.
Aye, and then say,
just-
oh no.
Stand there, and we're like, can't leave.
Aye, that's how we're gonna have to get it done.
You're never going to leave. Well, he might leave in the boot of my car.
You take him somewhere and you do him good. But what have you been up to, Ashin? You know, you asked me there, so I think it's only fair that I ask you what you've been up to as well. I suppose it's kind of conventional etiquette.
You just doing this for your karma, mate?
Nah.
Just asking me for your
Well,
karma?
I'm saying I'm doing all my good
Making
deeds
sure
in
the
this hour and a
universe is in
half.
balance.
So take everything I say as a compliment, no matter what it sounds like.
I actually did a wild lot of running about for a wild lot of nothing, really, yesterday. I wasn't there and got caught in, right in the centre of Storm Gareth. I didn't realise it until I got there that Derry is a big bowl, right?
Derry was really bad
I was-
last time we were up.
I was up on the walls and I heard this big boo, and there was no wind. It was completely dead. I must have been in the eye of the storm. And I was just standing there and I was like trying to light a fucking joint, and I was like a tiny wee half smoked one punter. I was like, and then I couldn't get it lit, and I heard this like boo, and then around the fucking corner came this like wall of wind that nearly took me off my fucking feet, like boom, and like fucking hit me, and I had to find like a wee solitary corner
You just fucking
to go in and
trap yourself.
fucking curl up and try and light it. I was like, couldn't get it lit. Had to
It's
just
fucking
go
annoying.
down and behind the walls and try and smoke down there.
You could have lost your life.
Yeah,
Hey, you could have lost your life.
that's
you
what
have
I
that.
mean. Hey,
At
you
least you
take
still
those
have that.
chances, man.
Hey, another question for you. Hey, how long do you think before they run out of one-word names for storms and then they have to go into like two-word names like
Oh,
Storm
yeah.
Bobby Lee?
Oh no!
Like sort of what we were chatting about
thinking
earlier.
more cunty names, like like people who have like double-barreled second names and take a gap year.
Oh, okay.
Storm Thornton Charles.
Thornton Charles.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I thought.
That's
I'm
good
gonna
there.
come round and wreck your gaff, mate.
Man, I'm gonna come round and
me and Thornton Charles are gonna come round and absolutely wreck the gaff.
me and old Thorny are gonna come round and just tip your tables, man. Hey, keep your cows away because we're tipping. Hey, man. Let's get
Lock
tipping.
up your daughters or we'll blow them away.
Yeah. Otherwise, we might ask them to marry us. Aha! Huzzah!
Getting the boys back together.
All the boys out on the
Anyone
town.
that speaks like that's always getting the boys back together.
They're always doing something with the boys, man.
Boys.
Boys to man. Boys to man. Boy to man.
So you need to stop talking about boy man stuff.
Yeah, no, man. Been watching too much stuff.
This has been put on this podcast has definitely been put on some kind of NSA watch list already.
You think so? I think we've been we're
All my
flagged.
theories
something.
about Evil Knievel.
I think we've just flagged like too many keywords.
There's so many key words in this podcast.
Operation
just like,
Knievel.
It'd be like, if we ever saw the file they have on us, it would be like loads of like black, like redacted statements, stuff that they can't see in the future. They can't know what happened.
There's a really fucking there's really funny parts in Parks and Recreation where Ron's always like figuring out that he's somehow still on the grid and trying to get off it. It's a fucking really funny recurring thing. Where it's like just he's following like a medical document, but then it's all those black bars. It's so fucking funny.
He's redacting his own information.
Aye.
That's so fucking funny.
Breaking awards and stuff. There's like a picture of him in the fucking diner of he's eating the most steak or something. So he destroys the picture and he's like, I've eaten food in a lot of restaurants around here. So they have to go around and fucking get everything.
No
But it's a funny recurrence. If that's a word, probably not.
Would you go off the grid?
See, I say sometimes dabbling, but like, can you imagine just loving nowhere and there's nobody about it?
But you need to be a certain type of person to do that, though.
I think after a while,
I think attention stars, people like us,
gotta do some stuff first.
Delta, you
Nah,
know,
man, gotta do some stuff first.
gotta be around people.
Nah, but I'd like to go to that after doing some other stuff first.
You think, do your shit, get it all over and done with, just leave
Just
your
so I can be
mark.
like, at least I did
And
some
then-
things. Instead of being like, hey, the only thing I've done was moved in the middle of nowhere and do nothing.
Live like a mountain man.
Do even less than somebody who does
Killed a
nothing.
pile of elk. That's all I've done.
Just fucking licking elk, licking toads.
But like, right. There's something to be said for how, like, if you're out there in the wilderness, you have a house, you've built a log cabin, you have fire, blah blah. You have everything you need for that type of life. So all you need to do is go out and kill elk. Like, that's your purpose. Like, for that life, that's the main purpose. Like, you don't need to do a podcast when you do that.
No, you don't
You know
need
what I
to
mean?
do anything
You're not going
else.
to be interested in doing a podcast.
It doesn't matter
It's
because you're
living
not.
like a primal life.
You're not relevant to anybody else if
No.
you're not in the same thing, really.
That doesn't appeal to me. I feel.
See, I don't know, man. I think after a while, hey, I'd sort of, that would be really nice.
I've lived in the country and it was shit.
Or even part time, like
Not
6 months
shit.
on, 6 months off. You know, if I could.
6 months on, 6 months off would be nice, but still somewhere close to like civilization. I need civilization. I don't like being
Nah, see, I think
urged from anything.
if you're gonna do it, you need to do it right and be in the middle of like nothing at
And you
all.
get bitten by like a mosquito and die.
And that's the fucking game.
That's
Lord.
the game.
That's what happened before civilization. People just died. Hey,
Yeah.
natural selection.
But we have it now, so why not utilize it? Like,
Because you don't have to.
but you can live in the middle of nowhere and still be half an hour from civilization, where you could technically.
You're
get
not in the middle of
medical
nowhere.
care
You're
and
half an
stuff.
hour from civilization.
Well, it's still.
I wouldn't consider it the
You're
middle of
still
nowhere.
not going to be annoyed out there. It's quiet. It's whatever.
I'd consider the middle of nowhere like in the middle of like one of those like of like a huge forest. And like in British Columbia or something,
I know
where just like
exactly
mountains
what
and
you mean.
forest, and you're like
They only
bang in the
cabin for
middle.
100 miles.
Aye.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
There's nothing else but animals and
Fuck
dirt
that.
in between.
I'd see, like, some of my relatives would live like that in Australia, where they're like 500 fucking miles from the next town.
And the outback,
or
like, aren't they?
something, right? And I'm like, what? It's for them, it's pure normal. They all fly planes and shit. Like, they don't drive cars.
There's
They
no
drive
point.
cars around the farm or whatever, but they'll fly planes into town. And I'm like, oh, okay, you just fly your plane into town, okay.
Cool. Hey,
Cool,
with your
man.
light aircraft.
But they need to. They need to like drive. I mean, like, they probably only cost like what, like 30 grand. You could probably buy a Cessna for like 30 grand. That's like the price of a car. Do you know what I mean? And it probably doesn't. It probably takes a lot longer to get your pilot's license. But I'm sure they fast track it out there, because what are you going to crash into? A whole pile of sand. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to actually, if you go down.
Or your destination.
Yeah, but like the destinations have like one house. You're
True.
gonna really struggle to crash into the fucking destination too, man. Some of them towns in Australia, a full town is like a post office and a shop. And then that's it.
Like 3
There's
houses.
no houses there or anything.
Aye.
Like the people live in the post office or whatever. You know what I mean?
Pure
It's
ghost
weird,
towns, man.
like-
Where like one person might roll in every couple of months or something.
Aye,
Oh, it's
pretty
fucked. Hey, that's so creepy.
But it's like a stop for those like big massive
The big truckers and shit.
road trains that they have over there. I
Aye.
heard something the other day too, that they've already implemented the self-driving trucks in Australia for long distance
Aye.
tests. So like
I seen something like that too.
they aren't actually they're on the road, but they're still in the test stages. So
Aye.
there's only a couple of them, but they're working, and they're implementing them. Like,
Did you see that thing too? How they all line up, and because it's done like electronically, and it's digital, so it's like programmed so that it's like exactly right. They're all exactly behind each other, so they all save
minimal
loads of fuel
differences,
from the draft of the one in front.
This is things
They
people
make
don't even
themselves.
think about.
It's something that they didn't realize until they had them all on the track to see how
They can
close they
stay
could go.
so perfectly in line with
And they're
each
like
other.
an inch away from the back of the
Aye.
other.
The one at the front will use probably twice as much fuel as the rest of them, but then the ones behind can all draft in the clean
Aye.
air. Like, man, it's not going to be long. There was a guy that was on Joe Rogan talking about the advent of technology and how it's going to they always give this number, 30 years time, 70% of jobs are going to be taken over by robots. But I think I've said this on here before. I don't know if I said it in one of the ones that didn't go out or something, but it's not like it's going to they're going to wait 30 years and then on the 30th year they're going to go, all right, we're taking away all your jobs now. I'm going to replace 70% of them with robots.
Obviously not.
It's going to gradually come in over the next 30 years.
You probably won't notice
by
it
the
until
next
you
10
do.
years, 20%. You know what I mean? Exactly what you said. You're not going to notice it.
Aye. It'll just be it'll be so normal, like.
It's going to
Crap done.
eventually get to 70%. But I'd say it'll probably be about 50% within the next 15
See,
years.
at the same time that that's evolving, everything else will have to evolve around that. Like jobs,
Yeah.
the job market will have to evolve around that. People will have to adapt their skills around that and what they're going to study and things like that.
And also, you're going to have a mass of people who can't do that. There was another point this guy made, which was you can't, as much as you want to say, oh yeah, well you can just retrain people and stuff. Yeah, for what though? I mean, the only
But
jobs
not
that are going to be
everybody.
left are coding and stuff. You can't fucking teach a trucker who's been driving a truck for 40 years to code.
Mm.
I don't know what you do there. You just have to give people money. Fucking.
Well,
all
at that point,
socialists.
whenever everything's that efficient, where 70% of jobs being done by robots, that means the money that you're making is fucking huge.
Oh yeah.
Because you buy one of those fucking robots for each thing, and that's
But
kind of you don't have
Tax
to
will probably
replace it.
have to increase, or else it won't make sense. If they just
Yeah,
tax
but
them
not
the
if
exact
they're
same.
the tax would have to increase, because if they were going to be giving it to everybody else because nobody else is able to work, they would kind of have to just look after everybody.
But the businesses also won't be paying workers' tax on the robots because they don't have to.
That's what I mean.
Like when you.
But they'll be paying more tax on what they're selling, I'd say.
When people don't know, but when you get a job, they pay you a salary and then they pay an amount. I think it's half your salary or 3/4 of your salary. Then goes to the government as well, or something like that. It's a lot of fucking money. It's no. So if they're paying you £8 an hour, it's realistically more like £14 an hour.
Is what it's costing them.
Goods costing them.
Aye.
They're still making hand over fist monies,
Aye.
But
Well, it's like whenever I was working with a trust, I was being paid like $8.90 an hour or something like that.
See,
and
you're
it
working
cost,
with a government organisation.
aye,
though.
but that's I was working with them through a recruitment agency, Grafton. So they were paying Grafton £16 for every hour I worked. I got $8.90, and Grafton got the rest of it. And they had 4 of us from Grafton that they were paying, and we were all working like 60 hours a week. And think of how much money that is between 4 people, that the NHS could be saving 3 times as much if they were just
using robots.
not even that. If they just employed you through them, and not with a third party.
Think how much they're going to save.
It's easy for them to go to that because there's a pool of people, and they don't have to employ people. They just replace them when they go.
Oh, that's what them recruitment agencies are. They're just like,
but it's fucked, like, because that's the same all over the UK, and then people like question where the money is in the NHS and stuff. It's being spent like that.
Man, people think it's bad now, and they blame immigration and all that shit, but they are.
It's everything. It's like I think it's everything.
At the real threat, man. Like, people go, oh, fucking Polish people are coming over here and stealing our jobs. They're not, man. The robots in about 10 years are gonna though. So, or 5 maybe. Like, when he said like, in 30 years, 70% of jobs are going to be taken. They said like, it could be like, that's like doctors and everything, right? So he's saying like, it'll probably get like, we already have robot factories and all now, so that's going to like come on real quick.
And people noticed that whenever their jobs started going.
That, how many jobs is
whenever
that?
factories and mines and stuff started closing and shit like that.
Shit like any labour job, any job that requires heavy lifting, manual labour in any way, is going to be taken, and that's going to come on real fucking quick. I think that's going to be within like under 10 years. So like people are really like the Brexit, blah blah blah, all this shit. Trump, blah blah, build the wall, all this shit. We don't want immigrants. It's not going to matter in about 5 years, man.
And I think for all that they work like you kind of, if it's going to be at that scale where there's that much technology involved and jobs and shit like that, and there's nobody working, and there's people just fucking lying about doing nothing and just getting money and spending money. You'd have to have like a socially, like for like people wise, it would need to be like a socialist government, but there would need to be capitalist as well for the business side of it. You need a good balance for that kind of world.
The current system, because
it won't work.
The current system wouldn't work. Like if you had 70 to 80% of the population unemployed, which is ridiculous. Like if you look at the unemployment numbers now,
that's higher than anywhere.
It's unbelievable. Like,
where's the highest unemployment rate in the world?
It's probably in like a really harsh third world country. To be fair, it's not a good comparison.
No, I'm just wondering. I would still.
Highest unemployment rate.
It's still not that high.
South Africa, which is 27%. So that's nearly 30% of the population are unemployed, right? Triple that.
Aye.
Triple that, right? And then add another 10% on top of it. Like that's how many jobs are going to go within the next 30 years, in every single country. Like, and see the thing about that is they were talking about like outsourcing will no longer be a thing because they won't need to. It'll be so cheap to manufacture stuff in country that they won't need to worry about paying all those shipping costs as well. So it's not going to just be like, I'm sure the robots will take all the jobs in China. No, they're going to take them fucking everywhere, man. He was saying, you think about like doctors and lawyers, and lawyers are probably safe because that's like a real people talky job. But like you think all these doctors and stuff, anything where you use your hands or need to learn like a craft.
If you've got a fucking robot judge, then you eliminate the need for lawyers.
That's true as well. They're going to get
like
that good.
If it's like they have everything to such a science, and they have people's behaviour to such a science as well, because they need to be putting as much into that as they are putting into the robots for everything to work. I feel, because the technology needs to know about like people situations for stuff like that. If they're going to go to the extent where that many jobs are going to be taken, where it might be like a robot judge that's like just yes or no.
Yeah, I know exactly what
like
you mean.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes or no, but with 100 million calculations involved. It's not like it's just went.
But that's what I mean. So there needs to be like a whole lot done, like researching actual people behaviors and stuff as well, and how we operate.
Well, they're
for
saying,
them to work
like,
together.
You know, they have computers now that can just like. They're so fast at doing calculations. They're supercomputers that know everything. And like what happens with technology, it gets smaller and more compact, and you can make it do different things. So they're eventually going to put those types of computers in robot bodies, and they're going to be able to like just walk into a room, look at a human being, maybe even scan the body, and then be like, oh, you've got this, 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 and this. We'll fix it now with this. And it's probably going to improve everything, but as it says, everything's going to work.
It's like you're improving it for no reason. Like you're still going to have things like sport, probably.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
You're going to have like sport, arts, like all creative
Arts, 'cause
things.
robots can't they can paint a picture, but it's an amalgamation of every picture that's ever been painted. It's not a brand new picture.
Aye. There's
But
nothing
you know
new
what?
to
For
it.
an untrained eye, it is just a brand
Aye.
new picture. And realistically,
But
it
still-
is just a brand new picture because it's an amalgamation of every picture ever painted. So like that's
But no,
what artists do
I
anyway.
mean, like I don't think the arts will ever get to the point where like it's not the kind of sector where they'll be like, oh yes, we need to get robots to make this, because it's always going to be people who are like, no, people need to be doing this. If Spielberg has a problem with Netflix, and they're not going to have robots running the fucking film industry.
Did you know that newspapers and magazines online already use bots to write articles?
They must do, because a lot of them are fucking. There's loads of mistakes.
Shite.
Loads of like just pure stupid mistakes, but it's not like
Do you know
grammatically incorrect, but it just
loads
doesn't
of
read
those,
right.
Things that are like, you won't believe what this celebrity looks like now. Bots write them. Like
Oh, right, aye, all
algorithms-
those ones, aye.
Algorithms write those.
Like all the ones that go up at the side
Yeah.
or at the bottom, where you're scrolling for
Yeah.
ages at the bottom.
But
And
what I
there's
mean
loads.
is like, yeah, they write them now, but in 4 to 5 years they'll be writing articles that you couldn't distinguish from a real journalist.
I suppose
It's
as
all
it gets
coming
better.
on real fucking quick, man. I'm telling you, like,
There's so many people working towards it as well at this point. You know what I mean? Like there's so many technology companies that it is going to just keep moving faster and faster.
Yeah.
And with this like new kind of new age space race with like SpaceX and fucking what do you call
Jeff Bezos.
Blue Origin, is it? Or something like that? Is it Blue Origin? Go on, type on that. Jeff Bezos' fucking space company, because that's something I actually wanted to chat about in the last podcast, but I forgot to bring it up. But it's like, so NASA are starting to, you know, like they would do everything in-house. They're starting to outsource now to like
NASA
Blue
uses
Origin.
SpaceX as well, though.
That's what they're using, SpaceX for the International Space Station. They've already done that and came back to Earth and stuff, and everything went smooth sailing and stuff. So now I think SpaceX won that contract, but they're doing all their stuff with like Blue Origin and then Virgin as well. They're all like them three companies are competing, but it makes things interesting. It's like a whole new industry,
It makes things
space industry.
interesting.
Like it's a whole new marketplace.
Part of me also goes like, there's like, you just give that money to people, lads. Go and give some of your money to these people, please, because like you're building rockets, lads.
But in like in Elon Musk's opinion,
It's
he is
cool
giving it to people. Like
because I'm interested in science. But there's always a part of me that goes, you have 137 billion, you can give some of that away. You
Aye,
don't
but
need to
they're
be
look-
building stupid rockets with it, like.
I think for in Elon Musk's case anyway, I think he does, because that's what he
Oh, no,
is like.
like-
He's investing in the future of people.
I've seen him do things
You know what I mean?
like make things that definitely help people. Like I remember the power went out in like Australia somewhere for like a whole state, and he built this like it tested like some new Tesla battery there, but like a really huge version of it.
Aye.
So like that then it was still powering the state or county or whatever whenever Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan. Anyway, I know that. So like I understand that they do stuff that's in the interest of humanity, but it's why like it is like it always strikes me as billionaire fucking razzle dazzle in the end up. Like you could be doing more, lads. Like I saw a thing that said like this is how much it would actually take to cure world hunger, like a real scientific estimate.
Aye.
Right, and it wasn't a fucking whole pile of money. Them boys and a few other people and the Catholic Church could probably sort it out today.
Aye, easy.
And
Of
it
course
wouldn't even, as fucking Crystal A says, wouldn't even make a dent.
Would not. Hey, wouldn't touch
Wouldn't
it.
even make a dent.
Wouldn't
'Cause I
come
think it's in the
close.
hundreds of millions. It's not even billions. So like, you know what I mean? That wouldn't take a lot.
Do you know something, right? This is a fucking interesting thing that I can't remember what the fuck I seen it on, but right after the First World War, there's all the excess materials that was being used to make like ships and fucking weapons and all this excess metal, right? There's this fucking biologist or scientist type guy who fucking came up with a really good use for it all, and it was to make like solar powered fucking farms, and he planned on doing it in the Sahara Desert, and it would be like a world
I
farm.
think I've seen this before.
This solar energy was discovered
Oh, no,
after
a
the
long
First
time
World
ago,
War
yeah.
and wasn't popular till like 15 years ago when people started using it.
I'm
Actually,
really sure I saw something in like Neil deGrasse Tyson's.
But he was stopped, like-
Cosmos that was like this guy at a world fair using solar energy to like shock some kind of animal to death or something. Like, that's how they showed like how it had power. That was like the only way I could figure out doing it. But they've had it for a long time. I know what you're talking about.
but that's what I mean. Like he wanted to use it to make this big fucking like sort of super farm thing, which would have like then you wouldn't have had world hunger if you had shit like that starting off from then. Like picture if they had done that, picture where that kind of thing would be at now.
But see, people back
Do you
then
know what I
would
mean?
have been like, solar power. They didn't understand.
Exactly.
They didn't understand. Like, and they wouldn't. They would have thought it was fucking.
Can you see why it was like why it wasn't allowed?
I feel like that's why, or probably the main energy distributors back then were like coal, oil, and they did not want that shit. That's probably the same story as nowadays. They do not want that shit going anywhere.
I think you got it like the wrong way around. I think it was being developed like in 1913, and then the war, like
All the
sorta,
war needed all those materials.
Yeah, so
right,
it's
sorry. Right, so it could stop for that for the war.
So
Right,
it got dismantled and never picked it up again.
that makes sense. But that's fucked. Like look how big that. Like you would only need 20,250 square miles in the
That's nothing
Sahara
in the
in order
Sahara,
to
like.
supply the whole world with energy.
It'd be easily done.
Imagine.
Easily done. But man,
So that's what it was. It was like a big
so
energy farm.
much shit they could do, but it's all like a big.
But by that, if you had an energy
Political
farm
fucking fuck job.
that supplied the world, you could have farms all over the world at this point.
There's been like
That are
loads
really
of
good.
like solutions for it. I don't know if this.
That's one that came close.
Right. I'm not gonna lie. I watched the Man in the High Castle, and I don't know if I saw this from that or if this was actually a plan by a Nazi scientist or something that was just a plan by a scientist around World War II. But they planned to like irrigate some of northern Africa with the Mediterranean Sea
Aye, I've seen those before as
to
well.
like fucking like.
So they have water
So
flow.
they have water flow, and it turns into like a big, massive fucking paradise.
Aye.
And they can because there's so much land there that they could probably use to farm.
I bet I think that might be what I was getting us mixed up
But then
with.
they were saying that like it might actually like doing that might cause some kind of shift in the actual like equilibrium of the world.
Aye, well,
And it
that's
could
probably what they-
cause like scorching temperatures in the Mediterranean and to hit like 100 degrees and all that shit.
That was
like,
probably what they thought then.
yeah, maybe.
Like that probably isn't
Now
the
they probably
case,
know why.
but they still won't do it.
That would have cured.
I bet there's loads of
Loads of
shit
shit.
that the Nazi scientists were coming up with if it wasn't destroyed. Like, would it? You ever like?
I don't know if that was a Nazi scientist. They may
No,
you
but
know what they
then
may have done. They
they
may have
definitely
borrowed that for the
would've.
show,
Aye, maybe.
right? Just as an idea, because that was definitely an idea that a scientist came up with. But I don't know if he was a Nazi scientist or not. But it could have been around that time. German scientists, a lot of scientists from around then were like from Germany, Austria, Switzerland.
Aye. And all captured.
But like, there's loads of like, this has been hacked to fucking death. But the Randolph is it W. Randolph Hearst, the paper mill guy who completely squashed hemp, released Reefer Madness, did all that stuff.
Right.
He turned the government and the population against
Industry.
marijuana, or he also coined the phrase marijuana, which isn't what cannabis is. Marijuana is a Mexican wild tobacco.
Right.
Right, I'm just regurgitating Joe Rogan facts. William Randolph Hearst, so he owned the paper mills in the 1920s, and then loads of people came along and said, "Look, there's this thing called hemp. It grows in 8 weeks, and it'll replace paper within the next 5 years because it can do like this, and this." Right, and there was loads of people who were saying they were switching over to it, and there was loads of other businessmen, his rivals, that had already switched their factories. So he, with all his paper mills, didn't want to switch because it would have cost him money. So he put out Reefer Madness because hemp isn't psychoactive, but when you breed the two plants together, it is, as you well know, because it becomes cannabis. So he put out this thing saying that, oh, cannabis will make you fucking kill people and fucking rape women, and it's only smoked by bad people, and it'll make you go nuts, and it'll fucking ruin civilization as we know it. So everybody went crazy and banned it. And then
they can still get their paper from
all
him.
of his rivals, right, who had switched their mills over, went bust.
Aye.
And he became like a magnate. He was already a magnate, but he became the daddy of the business. Like,
That's
and then
a
he just
fucking, hey,
took
you know
off.
what? Badass move, hey.
Badass move, but a fucking asshole.
Badass move.
Fucking
though,
cunt.
but I asshole.
But it's those people who have set up how we live today. That guy set up how we live today. Like, the drug wars probably killed more people than, like, a lot of fucking, like, diseases, wars. Like, think how many people Mexican cartels kill every day. Apparently it's like 1,000 people a year just in, or 1,500 people a year just in Juarez or something. Do you know what I mean?
So many people, like.
It's fucking
That's so
insane.
fucked.
He started that.
What's that say? I can't even read it.
Nothing really important.
Alright.
But like you see how something like that guy just wanting to not change over his paper mills could have started something so destructive. Because he had no idea. He was just an ignorant man.
Yeah, he just wanted money.
Who liked money.
He's like, if I do this, I'll have more money.
So, like, who's to say that they actually needed that metal for the war? Who's to say that some guy who owned a coal fucking mine and a factory and was like a big energy distributor for coal and oil or whatever?
The fucking, it was a
doesn't
German
say.
scientist, I believe. They're like, we need all of your metal. Was he German?
The guy who created the
Aye.
power plant, no, he was American.
Was he? Second name was Schumann? I thought he was German. All right,
Even
well,
so, like,
well, I'm sure they still needed it. You know.
they may have needed it. Wait, well, look, that's like saying here, we'll dismantle the fucking Empire State Building. We need the metal.
Nah, but that's not the case anymore because everywhere makes enough metal. But then they probably would have
Aye, but like,
if they had to.
I know that.
It was like, we have no
I know
ships.
How shit happened back then. I know that, like, whenever the war
Take it
started,
down.
they just like they actually paid people to turn on their fucking shit, like unwanted scrap and stuff,
Aye.
so they could turn it into guns and weapons.
It
and
was
stuff.
like literally
Yeah, I know how it
from
worked.
everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
But when you see shit, like, I don't know, man.
They
it's
would have just, and back then they would have just seen that as a huge
I know,
waste
a
of
huge
metal.
waste of time,
Be like, man, what are you
But I'm
doing
sure
with
there
all
was
that metal?
guys in their ear from like the coal and oil industry who are like, oh, this is a waste of time. You could probably just dismantle it and use the metal for the war.
Man, think about the ships. Think about the ships,
Think
man.
about the ships we can power on the coal. Think about how much coal we can use powering the ships.
Man, just think about all them ships, hey, out at sea, making naval blockades, man. Fact, big metal fact, hey.
Bang, bang, bang.
Bang, boom, bang, bang.
My cousin was in the. He's a cousin, but he's like my dad's age, so I call him like an uncle.
Aye.
I mean, he's one
So
of
he's
those
actually like your fourth
He's
cousin.
actually like my fourth cousin. He's their third cousin, I think. But like I've like known him all my life and all. Like, but he was in the Navy back in the day. I'm pretty sure he ran away from home when he was in the Navy, and he went all over the world. But he told me some fucking serious stories from like what, because they would be out at sea for so long that they get so fucking bored on the boat and you can't go anywhere or do anything. And like, you know, you're out for maybe 6 weeks. And you come back in, you dock and you go to land and all. But
You're back in for like 2 days, resupply back.
I resupply back out for 6 weeks again. So he was saying like they used to do shit to amuse themselves on the boat and all. And like he said like they would go and like if it was stormy weather and like the boat was like going deep down on the waves and coming back up and slamming and all, they would all put money into a pot and go to the front of the boat. And now the boats as well don't have railings around them. They have posts with the wires.
Aye.
Right, so you can't fall off. Right, they're not. I don't know why they do that. That's stupid. Hey,
Nobody's meant to be there.
nobody's meant to be here. No, but this is the whole way around the boat. So you can just go straight out. Fucking, there's like a lip and then all the wires. He said,
Bad
anyway,
idea, hey.
So they hang on to the front of the boat after put all the money in the pot, and the last one to get knocked off by the waves wins all the money.
Or dice.
And they said, like, he said, with the fucking waves, none of them ever fell off the boat, which is fucking amazing. And he said, like, once the waves hit you, you would, like, fly the whole way down the boat, maybe even get to the back. You know, he said there was one night.
Oh man, how did that without falling off the edge though? That's fucked.
I know. There was one night they were doing it, and he said the waves were so big that the radar dish on top of the boat wasn't there when they woke up in the morning. All the, like the whole big thing on top of the deck, like where it's probably like 200-300 feet off the ground, like it's gone. A wave had knocked it off.
Fuck man, crazy times at sea. Hey, my uncle was in the Irish Army, and so like he was on land, but it was just as boring at base being at sea. They were fucking at like the camp in Lifford, you know, like red and white tower. Like him and all his mates used to just sit about playing cards and drinking just every night, man. And the army. And they fucking they were full and went and climbed the fucking climbed the tower, and he was the first one climbing up, and he was fucked, and he got to the very top, and he was all high, and he turned around, none of the rest of them had climbed up. He stuck at the top, and he got a lot of trouble for it, but hey, he said it was well worth it for the climb and for the view it offered. The city lights, just seeing those city lights from above make a man do crazy things.
Well, the Irish Army is a neutral army.
Yeah, they don't be up to too much.
When you join,
but so is the Swiss Army, but they be fucking protecting the Pope. They get all the fun work. See, Emily was saying that. Emily was saying that fucking. I remember that guy, that Australian cardinal that we brought up. He got 6 years.
6?
6. That's all. Hey.
Only 6. Hey.
Yep, and he doesn't even have that crazy. He doesn't have that crazy celebrity status or celebrity money, but the church does.
He definitely does.
Church does anyway.
Well, the church does. Like, they'll protect him.
Aye. 6 years, though, man.
They obviously got him the best lawyers.
That's fucked. Where did he get done? Was it in Australia?
I think so.
How do you think he's living in prison now compared to how he was living in the real world?
I'm surprised that the Vatican hasn't somehow set up a way that all their people can be
like fucking self like fucking
in the Vatican, like in the Vatican, like set up like a fucking prison. So yes, well, we'll see to those bad men, and they bring them on, and it's actually just a big.
You're going to have to go to jail, Jimmy.
It's a big sex ring just underground. Oh, is that a 13-year-old and a 12-year-old? Right, were the two, wasn't it, or not? Oh no, abusing 13-year-old boys 22 years ago in the priest's sacristy. Oh, actually, we went over that before on episode 2, maybe. But I got sentenced for just 6 years, and I got about fucked up. But hey,
right,
man, that boy will still be saying mass in our lifetime.
You do see, right? What age is that guy though? He's 77 now.
So
they usually do give those guys, I don't know why, they usually give them like a sentence that seems like nothing, but they're gonna die in jail.
Nah, man, Cardinals love forever. Although this boy's sick. This boy, remember he got his kneecaps done on or something.
Fuck him.
I think it might have been the other. Well, was this him?
No, it was him. Remember he missed the first court date because he was getting his knees done.
It says that he was found guilty last December after a secret 5-week trial.
What?
I've never heard of a secret trial before. I mean, it makes sense for him or for like people like this, but you know what I mean? It's still, that's bad.
You know what the Australian government's like? They're you know what? The Australian government and the Irish government are really similar. They're like conservative, but sort of socially.
Weird.
No, you know what? They're not socially. The Australians are definitely less socially liberal than the Irish government are, because the Irish government
definitely
pretty socially liberal, but less. They're more conservative money wise, and like they like to fuck their population to death.
See, that's the kind of model I picture being on the ward with the robots. Australia's they just recently brought on this thing where any refugees or anything that come to Australia have to be sent to an island first that's actually closer to Indonesia than it is to Australia.
It's that
and
China not build that island?
Nah, it's like it's an island Australia owns, but it's like really close to Indonesia. But they go to this island first, and they have to be like declared medically fit to come in to the country. So like they go to like an island where doctors examine them and be like, okay, yes, you can go on, or no, you can't go on because you're sick or whatever. You know what I mean?
Weird,
so I'd say like, and by the way their government is, I'd say like they'd be refusing people who are just coughing and shit. Do you know what I mean?
Doesn't matter.
It's like out on an island in the middle of the sea.
Get him out the fuck.
No, he had fucking tuberculosis or something.
He looked dodgy.
I bet they'll let nobody in. I bet they'll say everybody that comes onto the islands fucking crawling with diseases. And then they're never seen again.
Jim Jeffries mentioned this woman before, Pauline Hanson. You know who she is? I don't know if she ever got elected.
She did. I think she's currently.
Is she not in
Is she in power?
I think like the One Nation Party at least is in power.
So Pauline Hanson was like a chip shop owner who like once said, all we have to do with the Aboriginals is just kill them.
All right, I know.
It's just like, that's your solution. Good. Hi. So
is the party called Pauline Hanson's One Nation?
It probably is.
Yeah, One Nation Party. Well, that's the full title, but it's it's just called One Nation Party.
All right, okay. But is it always called that even when someone else is on now?
Oh God, look at her.
Oh yeah. She looks a bit like...
She's currently a senator representing Queensland.
She looks a bit like Leslie Knope's man, Parks and Recreation.
She does.
Who's a politician.
She's just the fucking worst, hey. Like, oh man, she's like Australia's Sarah Palin, but fucking way more racist. Like 100% more racist, just as stupid.
Aye.
Like, that's the only way I can think to really just like. I think I stole that from Jim Jeffries as well. She's like Australia's Sarah Palin,
but it's a good point.
She is like that.
Accurate as fuck.
Like says things like, you know the way Sarah Palin said things where she's like, she just said something and you're like, oh my god. Right? She does that, but it's racism. It's stupid racism. Do you know what I mean?
It's not even. Bad. It's sheer ignorance. Like,
it's like she really, really hates Aboriginals. Hey, which is funny because who was there first?
I think like she hates Muslims nearly as much.
Does she?
Yeah.
Well, no. That's something all those conservatives seem to just take on board.
Well, One Nation Party, like, explains everything.
They hate everybody else.
They probably do. But did you not notice that like conservatives have taken this new hardline stance against Islam after like Donald Trump and stuff basically took it?
But it's the same way as the left has taken up defending it.
Aye,
like it's just that's the new thing to do.
There's
someone's declared a side, so the others have to declare the other or join that one. You know what I mean? It's the same with anything.
You see here with flags.
Aye, or with Brexit, or with anything that's going on ever.
But it's
like, oh, hold on, there's a thing now. I have to choose which side I'm going to be on this.
What's different about this though is that they seem to be taking it all from the like American conservative rhetoric, rather than their own country's conservative rhetoric. Like I've heard people here, I don't know, in seriousness or are they joking, talk about liking Donald Trump and supporting him, and I'm like, why do you care? He's not. There's no sway in your life at all.
I've seen people wearing. I seen someone there wearing a T-shirt that said I was like picture of Donald Trump with a big X through it or something. I was like, not my president. I was wondering what would be like.
Duh.
Hey, you're right. You are.
I saw a sign.
You couldn't be more right.
As well outside Sandino's at a protest, and I was actually going there for a coffee, and I was like, nope. Turned around, left. Saw a sign.
Day ruined.
Somebody holding up a sign that said "Not my president," and I was like, "You're right.
Aye.
Yes. The statement on that sign, correct.
That's true.
Means nothing to me. Means nothing to me. Do you know what I mean? Who isn't your president? Donald Trump. You're right. You're right. Anyway, that annoys me. But where was our point before that?
Can't remember what we were talking about. Conservatives taking
like hardline stance, but it's like the whole Islam thing is like, you know, like British conservatives are like, we need to stop radical Islam, blah blah, and they're really like upstanding about it and kind of like very stuffy about it. No, just like very like, we're going to have to stop radical Islam, blah blah blah. Trump on the other hand is like, yeah, fuck Islam, and then like that's the stance. He's like taking just like a fuck Islam stance, not a. He isn't taking like a we need to deal with radical Islam stance. He isn't. He's not wording it very well.
He's not taking the professional route.
You know what I mean? So like now I see other conservatives from other countries adopting this stance where it's like it's definitely a different stance. Like the EDL.
Well, it's fucking like it's like
operate like that.
What would you call it? It's like definitely going to get a reaction. You're going to definitely get something back on that. People are going to hear about you. If you're a politician and you start spouting stuff like that, you're in the public eye already. So stuff you say gets heard by people and gets released by the press. So you're going to get a reaction. People are doing it because they're like, all right, hold on, that's exactly what he did to get to where he is, basically. Because most of his campaign was just the way he was on. You know what I mean?
I wonder, like, but see, these people like Pauline Hanson, they seem too stupid to do that. They seem too stupid to actually be playing a character. Like, I'm like, no, I think that's just her. And then there's loads of stupid people that go, oh, I like that, and then they vote for her too.
It's also like because nowadays, like, people are more out in the open than they ever have been. You know what I mean? Like, everything's documented with like pictures and video and. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nothing goes unnoticed.
That's true.
Like, there's people who even, like the likes of people who pull up, like, tweets from, like, fucking 7 years ago and stuff. Like, that stuff, is going on, but that like they're doing that because they've already found everything that's going on now. You know what I mean? Like nothing goes unseen.
But the stupid shit, like people pulling up jokey tweets from 7 years ago, it muddies the waters for people who are actually like Pauline Hanson, who are terrible fucking fuckwits.
It does,
who have no idea how the world
because you lose
works.
credibility on certain things that you do. Like when
and
you're
it
doing stuff like that,
them.
it does. It gives fuel to the other side, because then
More
they've got a
people join
reason.
them.
They've got a reason. They've got something to say. They're able to say like, "Oh, you're being ridiculous by fucking pulling up my life from 7 years ago. Obviously, I don't think about the same things now or whatever. It's 7 years." You know what I mean? That gives them reason to say that. Whereas if the people who were pulling up the tweets thought about that, they'd be like, I can just keep doing what I'm doing now, and that would be sweet. But if you do that, then it's like always like, as people do it in like all walks of life, where you try and push your boundaries just to see how far you can reach before something happens. People do it all the time.
I've changed a lot in the last year and a half. The way I think, not anything serious like that. Like I didn't have Pauline Hanson's views last year, and now I'm changed. I mean, like small things, but when you bring up stuff that people say, like even jokes are the worst, because I don't like that, because I joke around all the time. Most of the things I say aren't fucking serious ever. So like bringing up jokes is just harsh. And that, as it says, it muddies the water for shit that people actually say that is wrong and bad.
Bringing up jokes shouldn't, like, it's the very fact that they're jokes, you shouldn't.
Yeah, it's a fucking
you know what I mean? That, like, they can very, very easily be taken out of context, because a joke is only, like, it's only relevant to that second in time whenever you did it. Yeah. It's not relevant to anything else.
Also, writing
it's only a joke.
Writing jokes in a text form is terrible.
I don't understand if...
Never do that unless you're really fucking good at it.
Unless it's either really safe or you're so sure of what it is and you'll be able to support it and back it up.
Writing offensive jokes in text form is terrible, because you've got no context, and you've also got no real like feel of how they're trying to say it or what way they're trying to say it. Because I could say something horrible, but I could say it in this here voice, and you might
say it differently.
But like, you know what I mean? You know it's a joke again. You know what I mean? So like, you can't hear that through Twitter.
I don't understand if people were digging up like fucking manifestos or something people were releasing. You know what I mean? And being like, hey guys, someone needs to look at this. Then everyone would be like, oh duh, of course, because that's something that everybody can be like, that's mad. Yeah. Or you shouldn't be doing that. Do you know what I mean? But like, just a joke, there's always going to be people who are going to say that's just a joke. Yeah. So you're always going to have a split as soon as you bring something like that to light. There's no point doing it, I don't think.
The new like conservative kind of movement, and the new like left liberal kind of movement, and I don't like subscribe to either of them. You know the crack yourself. I'm just kind of like my own wee thing. You know, I have
about in the middle
ideas, but not even in the middle. Kind of like off in my own wee country by myself. Just thinking that I could fix everything if I just let me loose on it. But like people who were outcasts and like stayed inside on their computer and like didn't go outside, and like people who were like shunned when they were younger or bullied when they were younger or blah blah blah, they used to like flock to like the left and liberalism and all this crack, because it was like, we accept you, we accept everybody, everybody's equal, we want everybody to be happy and fine. But it's changed now to where like a lot of those people are going to like the more conservative views, because they're more like free speech, and we're for the forgotten, and we're gonna get you your voice back and all this shit. So loads more people are moving to that area, and that area is really, it's becoming like a big pool of like toxic fucking people.
It's almost like
I hope nobody thought I was gonna say toxic masculinity, because that's fucking bullshit. But toxic people is like real, because like there's like toxic gaming communities where it's just impossible to be on like a microphone with them or anything, because they just insult you the whole time.
I know what you mean.
It's called populism, and it's sort of like a trend. Like every so often, a lot of people sort of fall into this mindset, and like.
But that's usually like in like Stalin-esque things.
No, I mean, like UKIP is an example of a populist party. Like Pauline Hanson is an example of a populist leader. Just like anyone who really spouts like nationalism and freedom of speech and like sort of like individualism, but like obviously it can be perceived in a very bad way.
Of course, freedom of speech is a fucking the worst one though, because like most of the places where they're complaining that they don't have it, they have it.
That's
and
true.
the places like here, or not here, I'm sure Northern Ireland, there's laws against inciting racial violence, there's laws against slander and all, but that still doesn't cut off your free speech. I can still say something
Aye.
out loud and not get arrested for it. Right? That's what that means. You like free speech is like you can go out into the street and shout something at the top of your voice, and as long as it's not go kick that guy to death over there,
As long as it's not like direct.
it's completely fine, right? The government infringes your free speech, not other people, right? So I understand what they're saying when they go, the left wants to fucking thing this by saying we can't say these things. Well, they have no power over you. You can still say that. But as when you do say that, there are consequences to that action. Like, it's not like you can just say that and it's free and nothing's going to happen to you. That person you say that to might punch you in the face after that.
You have to be like, be
it's their
aware.
right to.
Be aware of what the consequences may be, like, or that there will be one.
It's still free speech. You still said it. You're still not getting arrested for it.
Exactly, aye. But that's people as well, though, seem to, like, not... A lot of people seem to say things without being prepared for... Like, without realising that there's anything after it. You know what I mean? A lot of people seem to say things, and then there's the whole reaction. They're like, oh, actually, I'm pulling back from that because I wasn't expecting people to disagree with me. I was just expecting to say something.
But then there's a lot of the shit now is just like say it and get behind it, and no matter what,
I think
stick by it.
A lot of it now is very thought out. Like, you know what I mean? It's a lot. I think it's all. A lot of it's pre-planned.
Oh yeah.
And apparently a lot of it's fucking Russian bots.
Oh yeah.
As well. You know what I mean?
There's
I've been
one
hearing
that
about that.
they were like booking like pro-life marches and fucking pro-abortion rallies
It's like starting event
in the same
pages and
street,
stuff.
and they were then creating fake accounts of people who had joined both organizations and then arguing with each other online so that the other people who are really in the organizations would get behind them and fight online so that when they got there in person they'd fucking actually fight.
Aye.
They've been doing this for years, apparently.
It's bad. That's so fucked. It explains loads though if it's true.
Right.
Just on that
What does
topic,
it
I
say?
remember that I saw this the other day.
What
That
is it?
Russia are trying to instate a new law that people will be fined up to 3,000 rubles or whatever, or 15 days arrest for insulting the
That's
government
dollars.
online.
That's dollars.
So what would that be in Russian currency?
A lot.
Oh.
A fuck ton. Because rubles are like
Aye.
fucking,
Loads of
what do you call
zeros.
it, inflated up the wazoo.
Okay.
Aren't they? It's like 1,000 rubles is like $5. So that's what happens when your country
but what's it
tries
for?
to act like a first world country, but
For
you're a third world.
if you insult the government online.
So what they're saying about Putin is that he's trying to enforce a fine or fines of up to $3,000 and $6,000 for insulting the government online.
Or 15 days of arrest.
15 days of administrative arrest, whatever that means.
Sounds fancy.
Sounds fancy in some way.
Dangerous.
Right, aye. Putin's going to administratively arrest you.
Just gonna administrate something here real quick. Is it about to do something?
Oh, they're going to administrate some things into whoever says anything about the government.
We're up to some foul old stuff out
So,
there.
what he's basically done is reinforce the point in everybody's minds that he is 100% a dictator by bringing in, by basically putting the straw that broke the camel's back.
It's almost
on
as
it.
it's almost as if he wants people to know. Like, people start forgetting. He's like, hey, don't you forget? Hey, we haven't gone away, you know.
Every time you kind of start dozing off, I hit you and slap the back of the head. He's like, hey, I'm still here. Hey,
As Jerry
don't forget
Adams
about me.
once said, we haven't gone anywhere, you know. Or something, in the words of Putin. But,
God.
them Russians are fucking up to
Maybe-
all
is it-
sorts with
It
internet.
might
There was
just
some.
be him fighting to stay in power and relevant, because there's a massive
I don't know, man. People love him. Hey,
oh yeah, but there's also a massive fucking thing we forced against him now, like an opposition.
it's probably not as big though.
It's not as big, and there's one guy I'm sure that he can't kill off because he's too famous, but the rest of them are all being killed
expendable.
off. The other guy though, he's way too famous for him to just kill outright, because it would be too much of a blatant kind of just kill that guy.
Yeah, but obvious.
And die. So, but this is fucking crazy. This is something you see happen before they completely shut down all the borders, enforce martial law, and it becomes the Soviet Union again.
There was another thing too. Like, is this the thing about the firewall thing as well? No.
No, I think what are you talking about?
Remember, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago or something, 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was like it was something where they're introducing some private server type thing. So remember they like disconnected themselves from the world's internet for a couple of days as a trial to see if they can do it, run everything on their own.
I think this is a different thing.
All right, but with that they would basically have like customs on their internet. Whenever people from outside are trying to post on it, it would have to be regulated and go through a filter before it reaches the Russian internet.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean now. Well, like China has a filter like that as well. Like you can't search Tiananmen Square in China.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Nothing will come up, or they'll actually land to your fucking house. What Emily highlighted there, she's like, so basically, even like providers of internet and stuff are like going to be like reprimanded if they choose to disrespect the government in any way by like allowing stuff to be posted on their stuff and not taking it down. So like if like Facebook allows somebody to put anti-Russian propaganda on their Facebook, somebody from Russia, Facebook will.
It means Facebook isn't allowed to be in Russia
or something.
But it also says that those the websites and internet providers have one day to remove the insults or face a complete block. One day, just get it done. Hey, snappy decision. Like decision's nice and fast.
It's really like, look, if you can see similarities like what fucking happened here with that whole blasphemy law shit that was brought in when like 2012 wasn't it? And it was like you couldn't say anything against the Catholic Church, and if you put anything, it was like mainly if you put like, it was mostly people who like put stuff like in articles and put stuff on TV and all. It was mainly like actual media, but
because it all came to light with the Stephen Fry thing.
The way it was worded and all, though, it could apply to anybody. Like you could say something in the street, and it could be you could be reported for blasphemy. That's fucking insane. So this is like even worse.
They only did away with that law last year, like
just about.
That's it. Well, that's like because it became a lot less enforced after that Stephen Fry thing. It sort of got a bit watered down, and then last year it was voted against.
I think they enforced it at the start though. And heavily. You know, whenever he's putting all the stuff about the Catholic Church and the allegations of sexual abuse and all that shit, they like enforced it big time in with like gag orders and stuff. But I think it kind of did drop off.
Aye.
And then it only came back to light because somebody actually reported Stephen Fry for that.
Aye.
Like the Irish government didn't like watch RTE that night. Like somebody in the government and go, oh fuck, some random citizen reported Stephen Fry to the Gardaí for blasphemy.
It's insane. Imagine making that phone call.
Sad person. Hey, if you're watching this, I really highly doubt you are. You need to sort some things out for yourself.
Aye, if that's what you're at. Fuck that shit. Hey, let's move on to some shit searching. I believe it's about that time.
Yeah.
For some shit searching.
We have some lovely articles today.
Yes.
We're going to bun something first.
A
good bun article this week, I think.
We're going to bun this big orange bastard.
You know what? We're going to bun this big orange bastard again.
Just in case you're listening and not watching, the big orange bastard is Donald Trump, who is orange in colour and not in religion.
Yes.
I'm not saying anything like that.
Tommy Tiernan or Dairy Girls and get in trouble.
No, I'm not saying nothing like that.
Just a quick pro quo. Did you see that?
No.
I don't know what a quick pro quo is. But you see that thing? Tommy Tiernan and Dairy Girls got in trouble for jokes apparently as well. Somebody reported them to the police for like anti-unionist comments and stuff. Man, God, it's just getting ridiculous. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But let's move on to this.
Because he's like, this is saying like comedian. So they're saying he'd make a good comedian.
Aye. Would President Trump make a good comedian?
There you go.
And then highlighted, I can't read that because it's too small, but I can read it now. So President Donald Trump recently accused the media of not appreciating his sense of humour when he went off script at this month's Conservative Political Action Conference.
Right, Ty.
Okay.
No. I'll tell you what, I'm going to answer this for everybody for listening and watching. He wouldn't make a good comedian.
Nah, he wouldn't make it either.
Because being a comedian requires like certain thought process and all. It's like you got to look at something and see the kind of like the deepest, funniest, kind of like most fucked up aspects of it. You don't look at something and go, and just say something stupid about it.
But you don't need to just look at it. You need to then be able to craft it into something that's digestible for people to laugh at and find funny.
Usually what happens with a comedic bit is that you have a point, but your way of getting to that point is kind of like a real roundabout way. You're not just going... And Donald Trump's type of comedy is very straight to the point, I feel, if that's what people are laughing at. Do you know what I mean? Like, right, what I was saying, I said this to you off air.
For fans of Jack D.
I said this to you off air, but I think this makes perfect sense. If he was playing a character and afterwards came out and said, hey, I was only playing that was a social experiment and I played a character that whole time, I'd be like, fuck, he's the best comedian of all time. It's the same way people say Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. Like, people think Bill Hicks faked his own death and now he's playing Alex Jones, like, just to fuck with everybody. Do you know what I mean? Just because he was such a fucking nihilist, he was such like a cynic, he would like, it would be like an ultimate bat, just cause complete havoc with this InfoWars channel, just cause mayhem.
The part of they're both alive
just
at the same time.
Just for his own personal fun.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? So like, if Trump turned out to be Bill Hicks, I wouldn't be surprised. But Donald Trump as a comedian, no.
Nah, I see him on the bottom.
Ban it.
What have we got
That's
up?
fucked, hey.
What have we got next?
So,
space stuff.
Space. I love space.
Nah.
Oh, we don't have space. Well, we can go
Space
space.
stuff.
So why not?
Give me some space.
Right.
What's that?
So we've got
How do you
space.
pronounce that? Fucking
Betelgeuse.
Betelgeuse.
I thought it was like
Betelgeuse.
Betelgeuse.
The fucking Betelgeuse.
Star Betelgeuse.
Here is the Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse. So the Betelgeuse is becoming a supernova apparently soon. But whenever they say soon, do they mean like in the next year or in like the next like 5 billion years?
Within the next 100,000 years.
That's not soon.
No.
Scientist bastards.
Yeah, but
maybe soon for you, but you don't like. You know when they say it's soon in scientific terms. Yeah, but scientists in real life don't be talking on that fucking timeline.
But like they say, like it could still just happen. Do you know what I mean? They go within the next 100,000 years, but that could be
true. That's a rough estimate.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also less than a 0.1% chance that it'll happen in our lifetime anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's still a chance. I would like to see that because Betelgeuse is really close to us, and if it went supernova, would it fuck us up somehow?
Does it say there what will actually happen if it becomes a supernova? What happens to us?
I don't think it's in any way close enough to do anything to us because stars in our, like, I'm pretty sure stars in our solar system have went supernova before. Not in our solar system, but like outside it or close.
No, probably on.
Basically, this article is addressing like the scare stories associated with this and trying to disprove it, really.
Right.
Because nothing would really happen. Like, it says here that there's no clear sign that it would have any effect on life because there's been 2 supernova explosions between 1.7 and 3.2 million years ago, and they were 4 times as strong as what this would be, and they had no effect either. So
it also says, reading there now, it says Betelgeuse is too far away to significantly ionize Earth's atmosphere, so like it can't even. It's not even going to touch our most outer part.
Is that our like closest star? Obviously, except the sun, but like. It must. Maybe that's why they're making such a big deal about it. It's like the closest, biggest star that's going to go supernova or something. But yeah, like it's like
not even close. It says between 520 and 700 light years away, about 150 times as far away as Alpha Centauri.
So Alpha Centauri must be our closest star.
I think it is.
Aye.
That's mad. That so whenever that explodes. If we're able to see that, we're seeing it 700 light years later,
which is 7,000 years.
Aye. So we actually see it explode like 7,000 years. As I can look up what a light year to a year is.
I'm nearly sure it's 10 years. To
700 light years in a conversion rate to normal years.
I'm pretty sure.
It's either 7,000 or 70,000, I think.
Maybe you could be right with 70,000 actually. It's weird that light years is a measurement of time and also distance.
Is that a meter?
I can't.
How long is a light year in Earth years there? People also ask.
So how long? A light year is distance that light travels in a vacuum.
Yeah, but how long? That's what I mean. Like, how long does it take for it to actually? Like, it's 700 light years. So is that 700 years at the speed of light? Traveling for 700 years at light speed?
I think I remember
Is that what
hearing
it is?
Neil deGrasse Tyson say on Joe Rogan that a light year is 10 years. 10 Earth years. 10 revolutions around the sun.
Right.
I don't know
Weird
if
that I
that's
can't
right or
find
not.
like an exact
Yeah, I know. It's
answer.
weird.
Type in how long does it take to travel.
How long would it take to travel 700 light years at the speed of light? Because it has to be at the speed of... No, not at the speed of light, sorry.
It takes 700 light years to
Sorry.
travel that long.
That's such a, it's such a weird
You can't find out the
question.
answer.
I don't know how to do it.
Anyway,
You can only convert to miles. But
Whatever.
what the fuck were we talking about?
How far away it is.
Yeah.
So it's a
But
very
anyway,
long way away.
When we see it though, and we are seeing it happen way after it actually happened,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying, which
Yeah.
is really weird. I think it's cool.
It's very strange.
It's also
Well, like,
the
that's
only
what all
conceivable
the
way
stars
time travel is
in the
possible.
Sky we see are apparently a lot of them are dead.
A lot of them are dead, and we're still
Because
seeing the
there's
light
just
from
are
them.
all of them not dead?
Probably not
Is
all of them,
that
but a lot of them.
not-
Like a lot of them are
Or
dead. And we're seeing the light from their supernova burning out.
Yep, that's cool.
Do you know what I mean? It's actually the death of the star.
Which is traveling at the speed of light.
I don't like space. Things too
So
scary.
big.
Really, I
Too big.
fucking
But I,
love space. I want to go.
Makes my eyes all
Like-
twitchy.
I've had many psychedelic experiences when I've seen space and stuff. I'm really obsessed with it. I think it's just in my head. I really want to go. But like all that, like just shit. Like imagine standing on the edge of like some kind of spacecraft, like on a deck, and you're looking out at like a massive star nursery filled with all that cosmic gas and all this. You can see all of these fucking things, the stars being born and all. How insane would that be to see with your own actual fucking eyes? Like, I love space, but I'll never fucking go.
aye.
Because I can't.
So I think that's why so many people are fascinated by it, because it's so like out of reach. Like, do you know what I mean?
It
It's such a like it's like almost like religion. It's like so it's so like magical. There's like a magical element to it.
It's just because we're trapped here on something that we think is like a big environment, which
It's really not.
really isn't. Like, you can travel around the world pretty quickly. You want to travel to the next inhabitable world, how long will it take you? Do you know what I mean? Thousands of years. Like, that's why I really like that whole Passengers. I don't know if you watched that,
Oh, you told me about it.
but it's like
No,
I like mad sci-fi that goes crazy, but I also like sci-fi that's like, oh shit, I didn't think about that. Do you know what I mean? Whenever
Does
so-
it, like
when-
when it's applied to real life.
yeah, what it, like, but like something could go wrong in just like a mundane activity. Like, so the film's basically like they're going from this planet to a new planet to colonialize it basically, or colonize it, and then they're on a routine. Like, the ships have been proven they work. It's been happening for hundreds of years, and one time the thing fails, and one of the guys wakes up from his cryo sleep, which is meant to happen, right? And it's a medical procedure that he's been put under, right? And like his body won't change the whole time, but it's going to take 150 years to get there, and he wakes up 30 years in and can't get back to cryo sleep. So it's like, fuck.
I just gonna die on it.
Now he's gonna just die on here, and nobody's gonna know. Do you know what I mean?
That's so
like,
fucked. Because that's the kind of shit, the actual things that would happen.
because they're thinking if somehow they can, that's the main way they're thinking about getting humans to other places.
Using multiple
is
people.
not using multiple people, using like freezing you, but actually stopping your biological process from happening.
then starting it
shutting
again
your
when you
whole
get
body
there.
down, but keeping you alive and keeping you in the exact state you're in. Right? Not allowing your body to do any more. You know, somehow, and science have probably figured out,
Aye.
keep you alive, but
Maintaining just.
you're not age in any way, and
Aye.
then you get there, and it's 150 years later, but you're still the same age. Do you know what I
Aye.
mean? They'll obviously find a way of doing that. Like,
I'm
that's,
sure.
That's probably the only possible way until we find out how to like jump through space.
But what else? Space is fucking cool though. I love it.
I love
But
space
we're
as
gonna
well.
do our stuff here as well, probably. Our articles, you know.
But while we're trapped on Earth, let's nuke each other
Aye.
right in the fucking
That's
face.
what they always say. So we've got fucking. So what is it? Some kind of fucking World War III simulation.
I love how they're doing
And
this.
like a actual like kind of calculation
Yeah.
by analysts and people like that with statistics and stuff. But America basically gets fucked, doesn't it?
fucked hard.
U.S. forces are defeated by Russia and China in almost all scenarios.
So,
Analysts
hold on.
warn.
Is this Russia and China
Together?
or
separately?
Russia and China separately?
Uh,
Should World War III break out? Advanced warfare analysts warn.
I think
Together,
separately.
separately. So if the US fought China, they'd be fucked.
It's probably the idea that they're fighting both of them at
Yeah.
the same time.
More likely, aye.
That's probably why they're fucked.
That's silly. Because
I don't think that they would
as much
try and
as
do that.
they're like, I don't know if they're like allies or are they just like seemingly allies because they don't want the US to fuck with them.
They're like business partners.
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
what I feel. They're like, I feel if the US came with a better deal to China, they'd probably switch.
Mm.
Putin fucking just hates America so much. He
hard.
would not ever make a deal with them.
It's hard to come with a better deal than Putin, no. I feel like he lays down pretty good deals.
Nah, man.
No, I'd say so, man.
You only think that,
Because
but he
what
lays
he
down
wants,
deals
he,
for
like,
himself.
yeah, but he also like it's convenient for him to have people like the Chinese on his side or in his pocket at least.
That's a definite. But think about how much US ran manufacturing goes on in China.
Aye.
How much that affects their economy.
A lot of their business and stuff. They're China are tied to both. Big
Really
time.
heavily.
Aye.
Probably more to the US though, because Russia doesn't have much industry. Their main thing's oil. Like they have
Aye.
nothing else.
This says that for the US to improve outcomes, it would only take 24 billion, and that's only 3% of the 750 billion defense budget proposed by Trump for 2020. So I mean,
Oh, they spend a fuck ton on their military. See, the only thing about that is that like Russia's one of those countries where if anything ever kicked off, Putin wouldn't give a fuck if his people were dying in the streets as long as they're fighting on all fronts.
Russian leaders have never cared
No.
for who's fighting
They'll just
as long as
sack
they're
the
doing it.
country to win the war.
Aye.
But like
That's how they
America
fight.
has always tried to keep their country. Like they've never had anything happen in their country that wasn't like a lone terrorist attack or something, or like 9/11 happened. But that wasn't really like that wasn't another country coming invading and bombing the place to shit. Like
Aye,
the
and
Blitz.
take it over.
Yeah.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
Aye, Russia just like in the past have just like sent it's just cannon fodder, just everybody
send them
go
all.
fucking and whenever
But I even mean like spending all money on war. Like they'll stop funding people. Food will be short. There'll be famine. You know, like basically what happened. You know, in the Ukraine in World War II, siphoning off all the resources for state farms in Russia. Blah blah blah.
aye.
Do you know what I mean? And like, it could just as easily happen again.
Oh, definitely everything repeats.
Because
Like,
Russia's already in a state of kind of like they're fucked already. Like, do you know what I mean? It's as I says, they're a first world, or like a third world country masquerading as kind of a first world kind of masquerade, but like they're not.
nah, I think it's all going to come to a screeching halt very soon when somebody does something.
If you check Russia's like overall, what is it? They're like what do you call? Is their gross national fucking thing? Whatever. They have
their
like
budget.
they all the money that
GDP.
GDP, yeah.
That's what you call it.
All the money the Russian government possesses is it's like the GDP of a small country.
Can't try to find out
Like
Russia GDP.
They have like more land than the US and Canada combined and all, but they have like the GDP of like 1.5 trillion. That's fucking nothing, man.
I think Canada like
That is
not
nothing.
almost the same size.
That's like
What have they got? 1.5 trillion.
yeah.
Aye.
So Canada does too. But Canada, how many people
Yes.
does Canada have, and what do they?
US 19
Look at the
trillion.
US, 19 trillion.
Yeah, but a lot of their money is spent on a lot of other things that the Russians don't be spending
Yeah.
any of theirs on.
But no, but what that's saying too though is that like
What's the United Kingdom's?
like nobody brings their business to
2.6
Russia.
trillion. Nah, dude, fuck. No one's
I mean?
buying.
No,
Nobody fucking cares.
no.
I think that like Russian people seem to not give many fucks about loads of things that people over here give fucks about, and that's where a lot of money's going over here. People are like
See, as well.
fucking healthcare, mate. Fuck off. Cut off on hand.
When they talk about that the GDP of the country too, like the 1 point something trillion. They don't know how much of that money Putin owns.
Yeah, and they don't know how much is undeclared.
They're also thinking that he probably has like all of it.
Aye.
He just has access to pretty much all of it if he wants. So like, it's not really the GDP of the country. It's pretty much Putin's bank account.
I'd say what's China's? Because I'd say that the one that shows up whenever you type it on Google for Russia's GDP is a portion of what it is.
Yeah, because Putin's pocketed the rest.
Aye, and he's like China's
12 trillion. Because they're manufacturing up the wazoo, man. Their country's huge. They have loads of people. Like Russia has loads of land. Quite a few people. They have a good lot of people, but not a lot of money at all. Do you know what I mean?
It'd be interesting though to follow.
It's sort of like Australia, but with more people. There's nothing fucking there except for like a big massive part in the middle you can't go to. Everything else is on the sides.
Round the edge.
Do you know what I mean? Siberia is a wasteland.
Full of mammoths.
Yeah, full of dead
dinosaurs.
Mammoths. Fucking like, what are you gonna do?
Fucking nothing. I'm not gonna do anything about it. We move on to some fucking funnier, more light-hearted stuff and less morbid nonsense.
Speaking of dead animals, hey.
Aye. Which one's this?
We just got a flash of this. We didn't really see what happened or how it happened, but Emily,
the seagulls.
Emily brought us this.
Yeah, I think it happened a few months ago, and he's like being ordered to serve curfew now. But the story, regardless of that, is very funny. Well,
what's the actual headline? So we can read it out, because I like reading them out in like a formal manner. So that man who killed chip-stealing seagull given curfew.
Yet another brass eye fucking headline.
And so was. So this guy, John Lewin Jones, cool name, bro.
Use it, man.
Of Cardiff, smashed the bird against a wall during a trip to Weston-super-Mare.
Oh, fuck. He denied breaching the Wildlife and Countryside Act of 1981, but was found guilty at North Somerset Magistrates Court on Tuesday.
You don't want to breach the Wildlife and Countryside Act of 1981.
The RSPCA said he cared more for his chips than what he did to the gull.
I swear that man cares more about his chips than he does about the gulls.
What did he get fined with? Like, or how much was his fine?
Master Joe,
hundreds or thousands?
You can't just smash
750 quid.
Hey?
750 quid.
Hey, but that's probably a lot there, man, to get so angry at gulls.
And the £85 victim surcharge, what does that mean?
That's for the fucking seagulls
family. Does that seagull get £85?
For the seagulls' troubles. £85 in chips. Hey, you're waiting chips, lad.
Maybe that's to give to any Waynes that saw it for their PTSD.
Aye. Smashing a fucking bird against the wall.
So, nah, it's not even funny.
Nah, it's just fucking, it's silly.
No, it was what that
RSPCA
guy said. I was going to read it out in a brass-eyed manner, but you know what? The other one was better.
Aye.
Right. What?
Well, that's about it for that, is it?
That's about it.
No video or nothing.
Man smashed it. He looks like a guy who would smash a seagull too. You know what I mean?
Definitely does.
So I didn't get a good look at this earlier.
All right, go full screen
You
with this
laughed at it.
I seen it. Because we found all this morbid news, we wanted to find something just a bit more lighthearted. So we held up Word Star Hip Hop for some more lighthearted news.
Yes, Word Star Hip Hop, always a good place to get your light-hearted news. If it's not crackheads smashing up a gas station, it's something like this.
So what?
I always look at this out of the corner of my eye, but it looked fucking funny, hey? And so it lands. Then out of nowhere!
Hey, look up!
Alright, Skip, fuck off!
Right, fuck off!
Oh, fuck off! That's good. I enjoyed it and fucking run away, hopping away. There's two of them. Two of the fuckers.
Oh,
that's
fucking
good.
ruse, mate.
No, that's fucking good news.
Fucking ruse everywhere, mate.
That's great news.
I love kangaroos so much. They're the silliest, maybe the silliest animal.
Australia has all the fucking silly animals.
They have all the silly ones, but I think kangaroos are the silliest because, right, my dad told me that, like, I don't know why there was only like 3 of them there. So he was saying, maybe it's because they're actually allowed to hunt them now. But he was saying back when they weren't allowed to hunt them, man, like,
They were everywhere.
They were everywhere.
They run in big
There was,
fucking
like,
herds, like hundreds
packs.
and thousands.
Like, he was saying that, like, he would be in the house some nights in Australia, and he'd be like lying down, and he'd hear this, like, but like thousands of it, like a low grumble, and then they think it was an earthquake going by.
That's what it would fucking sound like, I'd
He
imagine.
would look out the window, it was just hundreds of thousands of kangaroos.
That's fucked. That's some good lighthearted news. That's the kind of lighthearted
lovely
news.
way.
I think we should try to end the shit searching segments with something nice and lighthearted.
I think that's a good idea
Because-
too. Works there, Hip Hop usually isn't the place to get your lighthearted
No,
news.
I did scroll through 2 pages of domestic violence before I got to this.
2 pages of R. Kelly shit, Michael Jackson shit, crackheads fighting at gas stations. It's always at gas stations in Florida.
That's a problem. They should just get rid of the gas stations.
No, because then where will I get my funny?
True. Oh well.
If we got rid of all the gas stations, where would crackheads fight?
I think it's one of those things. It's like, will you ever breed the evil out of humanity? No, you won't. It'll still be there. They'll find somewhere else to do
somewhere else to
it.
fight.
They'll just wherever you knock down the gas station, that's where they'll still fight.
Just on the rubble.
Just on the debris and rubble.
Fighting for dirt.
The
age-old
making
tale.
fucking horrific noises. We wrapping this shit up
Rapping.
because
Shit.
we're at the end anyway. We might as well just end. How long's left in the camera? Like a minute.
We just did shit searching so we could wrap this shit
Wrap this shit up, man. Social media is the Blasting Couch podcast everywhere.
Everywhere. Instagram, Facebooks, Twitters, SoundClouds, YouTubes. Tell your ma.
Tell your ma, tell your dad, tell your granny and your grandpa.
Just tell your extended family.
Aye. And new episodes every Monday.
Hey, you know what?
Cool.